Tonight on Cougar News, a missing Saugus teen has been found.
Plus, you may be surprised what turned up in Castaic Lake.
Also, Foothill League plays started in high school football. Cougar News starts now.
This is Cougar News.
Welcome to Cougar News. I'm Shyntel Aguila.
And I'm Melissa Lopez. Here's the latest in the Cougar newsroom. Maria Espinola, the Saugus teen who has been missing for more than a week, was found safe in Los Angeles on October 9th. The 17-year-old Bowman High student has been missing since September 28th and has several searches dedicated to her in the following week. Espinola was found in Olvera Street area after someone had recognized her from a Facebook page dedicated to her search. She was later taken to the LAPD Central Division Station, where she was reunited with her father.
What first started out as a normal debate soon turned into a heated argument. SCV-TV recently held a candidates forum with the congressional candidates Steve Knight and Tony Strickland.
It started off calm and professional, with the candidates asking each other how they spend their free time.
Tell me what you do in your free time. We always talk about how brutal the campaign is. What do you like to do in your free time?
Recreationally, I do like to play golf. I like to hang out with my dogs, go to the park and do all of those things. So I'm very busy when I get that free time.
My boy says his favorite thing to do is play catch with his dad. I take my girl on these daddy-daughter dates, take her out, ask her out. I open the door for her. I let her know how she's supposed to be treated. And it's Daddy's little girl, and I'm looking forward to her 9th birthday coming up next week.
Candidate Knight threw the first punch in what would soon turn into a heated debate.
Tony likes to say he's pro-life, and then he takes money from abortion clinics. Tony likes to say he's going to fight for CMEX, but he takes money from CMEX. I mean, those are things that, if we're going to go down that road, we can go down that road for a very long time.
And down the road they went, as Republican Tim Donnelly would be the spark that set off a fierce argument.
My opponent brought in Assemblyman Tim Donnelly, who is a very divisive individual, who even the Conservative of the Year, Darrell Issa, said was not even fit to serve in any office anywhere. By the way, he had Tim Donnelly on his website. He says, well, I can't control people who support me, but then he hits me on someone. Everybody who writes a check to my campaign.
You're taking money from them. It's not that they're supporting, you're taking money from them.
Because he was someone who owned
he was somebody you
the
admired.
Horse racing industry, and you know that, Steve. And then also, going back to it, Tim Donnelly, he's bringing in someone into this district. He embraced someone who had some unbelievable racist things to say. That's who he put on his website. He took it down after he got criticized. But on his website, he had Tim Donnelly. Darrell Issa, the Conservative of the Year, said this guy wasn't fit to serve in any office anywhere. He has his votes on the Confederate flag. This is a guy that's just too extreme to be the next congressman for the 25th Congressional District.
I think that we've seen this. I think that Tony wants to make me extreme. During the primary, he really wanted to be the conservative candidate. Now he wants to be everybody to everything. And I've continued to be exactly what I am.
We'll have more on our upcoming election show, November 4th.
Measure S has become one of the most controversial bills on the ballot. With the election just weeks away, there are still questions on if this billboard agreement will be beneficial to our community here in Santa Clarita. The Signal held a debate last Wednesday night between two councilmen with opposing views. Cougar News reporter Alyssa Dickert has more.
Billboard agreement Measure S has caused quite a controversy for residents in the Santa Clarita Valley. Last week, two councilmen with opposing viewpoints met in front of 30 people at the Signal to plead their cases. Councilman Bob Keller, who is in favor of the measure, feels it is a step in the right direction for Santa Clarita. He believes it will not only beautify the city, but also bring revenue.
The city owns the land that the structures will be placed on. The city will realize substantial revenue. It is estimated to produce as much as $400 or $500 a year in initial years to maybe as much as $1 million as we move forward, perhaps by 2020. That money will go a long way in helping our city to pay for public safety, parks, road repair, senior programs, and so much more.
Councilman Tim Ben Boydstein is strongly against the deal. He feels it will be problematic for property value and thinks the deal could be better negotiated.
And the reason I'm opposed to Measure S is it's a bad deal for the people. If people are opposed to 6 giant digital billboards that will be lit up 24/7, so they'll be lit all night long as well as the daytime, and those digital billboards are large and they are tall. They're about 4 lanes wide, if you can envision that, 40 some feet, and 14 feet high, and they sit on a pole that's up to about 5 stories high. And that is so there can be visibility from both sides of the freeway. The people that have to live near those boards or go by those boards every day, that's problematic. It will impact their property values in a negative way, and people do not like living next to them.
Santa Clarita Council members voted on this deal back in March. The deal authorized an agreement between the city and the Los Angeles County Metropolitan Transportation Authority. The digital billboards would be located on city-owned property located on Interstate 5 near Magic Mountain Parkway and on Highway 14.
If the deal with the City of Santa Clarita and Metro goes through, 118 billboard faces will be taken down, and to replace them will be 3 electronic billboards that are double-sided, much like the one you see right behind me, but on a much larger scale. We won't find out if that's the case until Election Day, November 4th. Reporting for Cougar News, I'm Melissa Dickert.
The recent Nobel Prize winners have been announced. Do people still buy print books? Alexis Honor has that and more.
The 2014 Nobel Prize winners have finally been announced. Notable names include Malala Yousafzai and Kailash Satyarthi. Malala and Kailash are key figures in fighting for children's rights. Malala has fought for children's education in the Middle East, more specifically for females. In her attempts to do so, she was shot by the Taliban just over 2 years ago. Kailash has helped to put an end to forced child labor and so far has personally freed nearly 80,000 children. The list of all the winners can be found on the Nobel Prizes website. With all of the ways to read books on your phone or tablet these days, you might be wondering how print books are selling lately. Well, according to Nielsen's Book and Consumer Survey, hardcover and paperback books are still outselling ebooks. That's right, both paperback and hardcover books outsold ebooks in only the first 6 months of 2014. So it looks like readers are still enjoying reading the old-fashioned way. Colin Kaepernick was fined $10,000 by the NFL after wearing his Beats by Dre headphones around his neck during a press conference. According to the Associated Press, the 49ers star quarterback was issued the fine because the official headphone sponsor of the NFL is Bose, and all other headphones are banned during televised interviews and coverage. However, players like Cam Newton, Tom Brady, and Richard Sherman were all seen wearing their Beats headphones without concern of the fines they might face. The NFL prohibits unauthorized branded exposure, but says players will be allowed to use whatever equipment they want, just as long as they cover up the logos. And that's what's trending. I'm Alexis Honor. For more stories in and around the Santa Clarita Valley, you can check us out at cougarnews.com. Back to you guys.
To be honest, I still buy print books. Thanks, Alexis. There's a new law in California that is causing some serious discussion. SB 967 has redefined the meaning of what qualifies as sexual assault on state-funded college campuses. Enza Marino has the story.
Better known as California's new Yes Means Yes law, SB 967 sets a new standard for college administrators investigating charges of sexual assault. Previously, victims of assault would be asked if they specifically said no in regard to a person's sexual advances. The new law now requires administrators to instead ask if they said yes. According to SB 967, sexual consent requires affirmative, conscious, and voluntary agreement to engage in sexual activity.
While some say that Yes Means Yes will help reduce incidents of sexual assault on college campuses, others say it is politically overreaching and dangerously expands the definition of sexual assault. Here at California State University Northridge, we spoke to students to get their take on the new law.
Well, actually, I think the government should not be getting too involved into the bedroom-wise. If the girl wanted to, then I don't think the government should be getting too involved in.
What do you think of this new law?
I don't think it's gonna work.
The Yes Means Yes policy, as far as having to consent to any kind of sexual activity or anything like that, it's just, I feel like it's going to cause more problem than good.
Linda Davies, Executive Director of the Domestic Violence Center in Newhall, and Carissa Valencia, the Program Director, gave us their perspective on the new bill.
someone tries to engage in any sexual acts without their consent, their conscious consent, then that goes against that person who's invading that space of theirs.
So you think this will help?
Yes.
I think who it's going to help is it's going to help the person. You know the person. You may be engaged in kissing with them. You may be going a little bit farther with them, but you decide nope, this isn't where I want to go, and we're going to stop. Yes, that's going to help.
An alarming 1 in 5 female college students reports being sexually assaulted. The main focus of the new law is to dramatically reduce and hopefully eliminate these types of incidences. For Cougar News, I'm Enzo Marino.
Supermarkets, convenience stores, and other chain stores will be looking a lot different by this time next year, as California becomes the first state to ban plastic bags. Alexis Sonner tells us more.
You might have heard about the recent legislation passed in California that will ban single-use plastic bags in grocery stores and other retailers. This new law will take full effect by mid-2015 and will impact grocery stores such as Rite Aid, Stater Brothers, Food for Less, and Vons, as well as other large retailers such as Walmart and Target. This ban will leave shoppers responsible for bringing their own shopping bags to the store.
I am familiar with the ban on plastic bags used in department stores and grocery stores, and personally I feel that the plastic bags should be banned.
Well, you know, when I first heard it, I was really against it, and then I found out the harm it caused, so I can kind of understand it. But when they originally stopped it in Long Beach, because that's where I originally come from, I have a whole bunch of the reusable bags, so I'm good.
I think it was Oakland or some city up north, quite a few years ago, I want to say 10 years ago, they actually banned it in their city. And I actually immediately went on to eBay and got green bags and started bringing those to the stores.
Reusable shopping bags can be purchased online and at your local grocery stores. For Cougar News, I'm Alexis Sonner.
Coming up on Cougar News, we'll give you an easy and affordable way to make your own unique Halloween costumes.
Plus, surprising new information about the water level in Castaic Lake. Stay tuned.
Are you still looking for your school? College of the Canyons is located on scenic rolling hills with competitive programs such as new media journalism, state-of-the-art sports facilities, and a culinary arts program that will be opening their brand new building with 3 state-of-the-art test kitchens. At only $46 a unit, you will discover that COC is the community college for you. Find out more at www.canyons.edu.
I'm Richard Horvitz.
I'm Tara Strong.
I'm Michael C. Morona.
And I'm Danny Tamarelli.
Hi, this is Ming Chen.
This is Mike Zapsik.
Hi, it's Louis Anderson.
I'm Weird Al.
I'm Florence Henderson.
I'm the Grinch. And you're watching.
And you're watching.
And you're watching.
And you're watching.
You're watching.
And you're watching.
And you lucky people are watching.
Cougar News.
Cougar News.
Cougar News.
Cougar News.
Cougar News.
Cougar News. You're watching Cougar News. So this is for the older ladies.
And I'm a cougar.
Welcome back to Cougar News. The results are in. After 1 month of water restrictions, the 4 water agencies of Santa Clarita have determined a positive outcome. Christiane Kimberlin gives us the details.
The city of Santa Clarita adopted a new ordinance in the middle of August to implement mandatory outdoor water usage. This new ordinance comes in with the state's resolution that requires all water agencies to curtail outdoor water usage because 60 to 70% of all water usage in the state of California is used outdoors, primarily used for watering lawns and softscape. Depending upon the resident's address, either ending in even or odd numbers indicates the days that are allowed for watering. The city of Santa Clarita sits on the state's 3rd largest aquifer, Since this January, 100% of the water that has been supplied to the residents has come from this aquifer. In normal conditions, usually 50% of the water comes from the delta. The city of Santa Clarita has 4 water agencies. When I spoke to the Valencia Water Company, they confirmed that after 1 month of restrictions, 30,000 other customers had saved over 150 million gallons of water, which was a 7% savings. Newhall County Water District saved 4%, Santa Clarita Water Division saved 2%. If you have any questions concerning the new water ordinance and the water restrictions, you can Google City of Santa Clarita, water conservation. This is Christiane Kimberlin for Cougar News.
Decreasing water levels over at Castaic Lake led a federal agent being reunited with his gun and badge after it went missing for 22 years. A man was fishing at the dam at Castaic Lake when he found a backpack that became exposed after the water level dropped 151 feet since the California drought began. The backpack contained a gun and a badge along with the ID of an agent from the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, who lost his possessions in 1992. Sheriff's deputies were able to track down the agent who received a lot of grief from his peers for losing his equipment.
Speaking of the Castaic Lake, one of our area's critical sources of water is being decimated by the drought. And as we found out, the lake has several dramatic changes. Castaic Lake Lagoon remains open to activities such as kayaking and stand-up paddleboarding. But this summer, the lake closed to all swimmers. Officials say the drought has caused unsafe water levels for people to be able to go swimming. The shallow end near the beach has now become a deep end only. Supervising lake lifeguard at Castaic Lake, Dion Hatch, says that the operating level for Castaic Lake is supposed to be at 1,550 feet above sea level. But currently, Castaic Lake is at 1,370 feet. The last time the drought was this low was in 1984. These are pictures of the upper lake from May to October of this year. As you can see, the water level has changed dramatically.
The lake is now down about 100 feet from where it used to be.
As for next year, officials say Castaic Lake may close again depending on the weather. For now, the only ones swimming in this lake are these little guys. In Castaic, I'm Melissa Lopez for Cougar News.
The Walking Dead in all its gory clothing stopped by for a march down in Newhall. Zombies of all ages marched down Main Street this past Sunday for the annual Walking Dead Day and Zombie March hosted by Brave New World Comics. The event included trivia, mini-games, and more as the zombies eventually gathered around to watch The Walking Dead Season 5 premiere on a projector. The event wasn't all about zombies, however, as Brave New World also hosted its annual canned food drive for the Santa Clarita Food Pantry. Donations of canned food went towards a raffle which included prizes like Walking Dead graphic novel signed by creator Robert Kirkman.
A local couple gets Santa Clarita in shape. Also, jam sessions bring culture to Santa Clarita. Then we have a TV star's shocking confession. Alyssa Dickert has the latest in this week's Entertainment Spotlight. Check it out.
Hey guys, welcome back to Cougar News Entertainment. I'm your host, Alyssa Dickert. A new fitness boot camp is gaining quite the buzz here in Santa Clarita. Also, residents got to be rock stars for the night and jam out in Old Town Newhall. Plus, we have the latest on the Seventh Heaven star Stephen Collins' investigation. Lastly, we have the scoop on the Hollywood's newest box office hits. Stay tuned. Keep your booty in shape this holiday season. Fight for It Now is showing off their hot bodies. Shyntel Aguila takes a closer look on how you can get one too as well right here in Santa Clarita.
Fight for It Now, a family-owned and operated indoor and outdoor boot camp, specializes in helping people target their main goal in living a healthier lifestyle.
My husband, he's very good on teaching one-on-one and training people individually, and then I have the group fitness background to where I try to get everybody livened up with music and having a good time. So me and my husband, we work really well together in that way, and I feel our workouts are different because we mix the best of both worlds.
Clients are taught a variety of workout routines involving cardio and strength training. Vanessa and Lyndon help build endurance and provide support for their clients to succeed.
whole nother level. Made me stronger, and it's just more a positive environment, and they're always encouraging and pushing us to be better, to be like a healthier person inside and out.
You're getting the best of the best, one of the best in the Valley. We also, again, we've created our own workouts, so the things that we do here, you're not going to get anywhere else.
Fight for Right Now Boot Camp is located in Canyon Country and welcomes anyone who wants to get back in shape and reach their goal. For Cougar News, I'm Shyntel de Aguila.
Old Town Newhall got pretty rowdy this past Thursday during jam sessions. Ariel Thompson was there to experience the fun. Let's check it out. Last Thursday, everybody became a musician for free in Old Town Newhall. Jam sessions capture the high energy of Middle Eastern tribal dancing and music. This event takes over Newhall the second Thursday of every month, so don't forget to check out November's jam sessions. For Cougar News, I'm Ariel Thompson. Now here's a story that's still shocking fans across the nation.
When I see their happy faces smiling back at me.
Well, you won't be hearing that theme song for a while. Last week, we found out that good old Reverend Eric Camden has had a history of sexual misconduct. TMZ broke the story, releasing an audio tape of Stephen Collins confessing to these actions. In the tape, Collins confessed to molesting and/or exposing himself to 3 girls, all incidents occurring before 1984.
Oh, you have to understand I was being shot in the face with a shotgun, so several times.
It happened
with a 10-year-old. Okay.
Well, she was 11 and then like 12 and 13. Well, this isn't a disclosure, and I told you before, there was one instance where there was one moment of touching where I put her hand on my penis.
You put her hand on
Yes.
Now, that might not be the case. Collins' estranged wife, Faye Grant, is now claiming that Collins used his TV persona to gain the trust of 2 parents so he could molest their child. If true, it would mean that he molested a child as recently as 2007. Since this confession, TV Guide Network and Up TV have both dropped Seventh Heaven from their lineups, which also means actors will stop receiving residual checks. Child actors Nikki and Sam Saletta, who are both child actors on the show, now have their manager complaining about this. Manager Karen Ross, who also happens to be their mother, did tell TMZ that she never saw anything suspicious and never had any concerns about Collins. Collins has since been dropped from his agency, fired from his role in Ted 2, and cut from an upcoming Scandal episode. Planning on heading to the movies this weekend? The box office has a little bit of everything. There's a romantic flick that's perfect for a date night, sorry guys, an animation that's great for the whole family, and a film for all you history buffs out there. So let's take a look. The Best of Me, starring James Marsden and Michelle Monaghan, is a traditional romantic film based off one of Nicholas Sparks' novels. Years ago, Dawson and Amanda fell for each other while in high school and had the time of their lives. This film takes us to 20 years later, where the two, by chance, find each other in the town they left and renew their relationship as adults.
But I swear I will never stop loving you.
A fun movie for the whole family will be the 20th Century Fox animation, The Book of Life. You will be taken on a journey following the life of Manola Sanchez, who is torn between fulfilling expectations of his family and following his heart. A twist in the film is an innocent love triangle between Manola, played by Diego Luna, Maria by Zoe Saldana, and Joaquin, voiced by Channing Tatum. A more serious film than the other two is Fury, starring Brad Pitt. This movie is set during the last set of the European theater of war during World War II in April of 1945. A U.S. Army division uses a tank called Fury to go on a mission with only 5 men. Outnumbered and outgunned, this film takes you on the heroic journey these men endured to strike at the heart of Nazi Germany.
Tank school? That's home.
Never even seen me.
Well, that's all that we have for entertainment news this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm your host, Alyssa Dickert. See you next time.
Shopping for Halloween costumes can get really expensive. Abigail Gutierrez has some costume ideas that could be hiding in your closet and could help save you some money.
With Halloween being around the corner, here are 3 last-minute easy and affordable costume ideas. The first costume is a simple collared shirt paired with a red plaid skirt. Adding a pair of clear lens glasses and tying your hair back into a bun, this completes your nerd costume look. For a hippie 70s inspired look, I used a tie-dye shirt with some cut-out strings to it, adding a shoelace headband and a cute pair of hippie heart glasses. For the pants, you can pair this look with nearly everything, but I went with a pair of high-waisted bell bottoms. And for shoes, these bright orange platforms complete look number 2. Last but not least, the third look is really easy to recreate. It's a 50s pinup style that could be worn nearly everywhere. To start the look, a pair of vintage glasses and preferably a red flower will be a must. For the top, I used a striped mini corset and a knee-length pencil skirt. For the shoes, I paired this look with retro cheetah pumps. For this Halloween's edition, I am Abigail Gutierrez, reporting for Cougar News.
While California continues to suffer from a severe drought, Santa Clarita and the surrounding cities once suffered from an overabundance of water. Felisa Gardenas has the story.
March 12th, 1928. Edison workers and innocent families were sound asleep with no warning that a flood was coming their way. 3 minutes to midnight, William Mulholland's St. Francis Dam, which he had doubled in size without reinforcing its base, burst, draining 54 miles from Saugus through surrounding cities to the Pacific Ocean. 2.5 years' worth of LA's drinking water was completely emptied in 5.5 hours, killing a confirmed 431 people in its path.
It caused the way that dams were built to have different standards. So the Hoover Dam, which was built subsequent to that, followed recommendations that came out of the breakage of that dam, and they still use those guidelines today.
While other cities affected by the tragedy have monuments set up to commemorate the lives lost from this event, 8 decades later, locals are asking, where's ours?
The citizens asked for this. We received thousands of letters from the citizens of Santa Clarita and around Santa Clarita asking for this. Historians, people that wrote books about it, everybody wants to know why this hasn't been memorialized in all these years.
The Santa Clarita Hiking Club and Santa Clarita Valley Historical Society went to D.C. and asked Buck McKeon as a legacy bill to get the legislation for a memorial into Congress.
And this would protect the area. It would transfer the property from the Angeles National Forest to the National Park Service. And we are hoping that they will build a memorial and a museum there and house all of the artifacts that we have.
While hundreds of cars drive by this very sign every day, not many of them know the history behind it or the tragedy that unfolded here that March 12th night in 1928.
You know, if you delve into the individual stories of this, it's just so tragic. You know, I mean, you talk about 431 people or more that died.
From Mr. Ruiz, who came home from being away and had to bury 8 members of his family killed that night, to 3.5-year-old Johnny Traxler, who wanted to be just like Santa Clarita's very own cowboy, William S. Hart. So much so that he was buried with his cowboy hat. Real people with real families still around today wanting to commemorate and looking for closure. For Cougar News, Felisa Gardenas.
For more information, or if you're interested in learning about the legislation, log on to cougarnews.com.
Santa Clarita families joined together for live music, games, and duck racing? That's right, that all happened at the 12th annual Rubber Ducky Festival. Thousands of ducks raced down a track at Bridgeport Park, all for a good cause. Each duck was adopted for $5 before being released from Bolden Pond into the man-made rapids. There were 3 races throughout the day, where the winning ducks competed for a grand prize of $2,500. Proceeds for the duck adoptions helped support free and low-cost medical care from the Samuel Dixon Family Health Centers.
You know, the best part about the event is it's a family event, and purposefully that's how this is designed. It's designed to bring the family out. That's what Samuel Dixon's about. It's a family health care center meant for families, and that's why they make the event fun for everybody.
Still to come on Cougar News, residents of Santa Clarita turn purple.
Plus, we take a look at Cougar sports. Don't go anywhere.
In the mood for endless Italian dishes? Vincenzo's Pizza is your one-stop shop.
From their hand-tossed thin crust pizzas to their meaty Chicago dogs and their toasty sandwiches
to their creamy chicken Alfredo pasta.
I love their chicken Alfredo pasta.
Vincenzo's New Hall has exactly what your appetite desires.
With fresh ingredients, 12 cold beers on tap, and live entertainment on the weekend, you will not be disappointed.
Vincenzo's Pizza, inch for inch, the best pizza in the Santa Clarita Valley.
Habitat for Heroes.
Really, it's a story about people.
Letting people see that they're not alone, they're not isolated. We're here to help.
And we need to work on behalf of our veterans.
Then we can really change that veteran's ability to reintegrate into the community.
Habitat for Heroes is not just rebuilding homes, but it's rebuilding lives.
And that's the message we want to get across.
Get involved. Visit habitatscv.org and find out how you can help.
Knock out cancer! You're watching Cougar News!
Welcome back. Over the weekend, COC was host to SCV's Domestic Violence Center's 3rd annual Purple Walk for Strength 5K. Nikki Yanover has more.
Wearing white shirts, family and friends came together to raise community awareness about domestic violence for a 5K Walk for Strength. Participants started at the Fire Road outside of the stadium and finished on the track, getting purpled all along the way. At the end of the walk, prizes were awarded to the first teams and individuals to finish.
We are here today doing the Purple Walk of Strength. It is one of our main fundraisers at the Domestic Violence Center.
Ready, set, go! Our runners just took off for the 5K Walk of Strength.
We're all here to support the Domestic Violence Center and the work that they're doing here in this community.
Oh, it's going to be a beautiful day, and it's a colorful day for domestic violence. We're very excited to support them.
We're here actually for my sister Carla Brada. This is the 3rd year that our family's doing this run. It's not just for her, but for everyone who's a victim of domestic violence, but also a victim of murder. So.
We're having a great time today, and you can always go to our website at dvc-scv.org to find what other events we have going on in the Valley and help support a great cause.
For Cougar News, I'm Nikki Yanover.
This was a huge week in sports, not to mention COC's big football game last Saturday. Darian, tell us more.
All right, well, I will. Fresh off of a huge win on the road against rival Bakersfield, the Cougar football hosted Saddleback College, looking to beat them for the 2nd year in a row. We pick up the game in the 2nd quarter, Saddleback up 17-13 when Ricky Bautista connects with Forrest Donovan for a 20-yard touchdown pass to give the Gauchos a 24-13 lead. Bautista would pass, and there he is in the end zone. And Bautista would pass for 330 yards and 3 touchdowns, including this one to Dominic Collins to give the Gauchos a 30-13 lead. Later, with this incredible kickoff return for a touchdown as White turns a corner here and picks up a number of blocks before going 105 yards untouched, but the Cougars would ultimately lose the game, even though Tim White scored, losing 44-26. This year marks 10 years since COC's football's only national championship. Cougar News sports reporter Matt Robinson gives us a preview of his sit-down with current Cougars athletic director and former head coach Chuck Lyon.
We've been crowned national champions!
We went into the season, once we got through camp, you know, you never know. You certainly don't expect to go undefeated. You certainly don't expect to go 14-0, be the only team in history to ever do it. You know, we knew we were good. And my focus was never...
sit-down interview with Coach Lyon. In what turned out to be the most exciting game of the week, the original Foothill League rivalry reignited as the Canyon Cowboys looked to upset the heavily favored Hart Indians. The game would be played under the lights at Cougar Stadium. First quarter, Indians up 6-0 when Myron McAfee would get the call from outside the Indians' 40. Untouched to tie at 6. Canyon would build their lead to 14-16 before Hart would take back the lead 15-14 on this Brady White 22-yard run. Hart would eventually take a 21-14 lead, forcing Canyon to come back. They would score here on a Miles Fallen touchdown pass to Israel Cabrera. The Cowboys would go for the win with a 2-point conversion attempt, but the Indians' Blake Fall would knock the pass off down to the Indians, who would win the game 21-20 without scoring a touchdown through the air for the first time this season. In the final game of the weekend, the Saugus Centurions and West Ranch Wildcats traded blows in an effort to win their Foothill League opener. We start the game at Saugus with the ball. Quarterback Lewis Eusebi hands it off to Chase Killingsworth for the touchdown. And there he goes in the end zone. The Saugus students, I'm sure, were very pumped, and here they are yelling their hearts out. And now West Ranch is going to take the ball. Jackson Clark gets flushed out of the pocket, has to scramble, and eventually finds Zachary Hines, who makes a leaping catch, just staying in bounds for the 27-yard touchdown pass. And great job. And West Ranch would attempt an onside kick, but the Centurions would be able to recover, and they would win the game 35-32. In more Foothill League football news, Valencia routed Golden Valley with a score of 45-10, holding the struggling Grizzlies offense to only one touchdown. In other sports news, COC women's soccer team came into Tuesday's game against Glendale College looking to win their third straight game and their seventh game in their last 9 opportunities. First half, Canyon's up 1-0 when Glendale puts one in their own goal, makes it 2-0. We move to the second half now. Canyons would score 4 times, including goals by Yevenia Alvarez, Annabelle Gonzalez, and Catherine Polito to help guide the Cougars to a 7-0 victory against Glendale. The men's soccer team came into Tuesday's action in a tie for first in the Western States Conference with opponent LA Mission College. In what would be a tight battle, neither team was able to generate much offense as Canyon's Steven Rodriguez and Mission's Joelle Louise Juan would be strong in the net throughout. Mission would get the best opportunity of the game off this header, but no Flores, but the ball would hit the crossbar, go over the net, as neither team could score, ending the game in a 0-0 tie. Girls volleyball has started Foothill League play with the Hart Indians starting to pull away from the pack. They took on Golden Valley Tuesday, looking for their 13th straight victory. The Indians didn't get much resistance from Golden Valley, who has not won a game yet this season. The Indians won in straight sets 25-13, 25-8, and 25-9. Lexi Shabanok led Hart with 7 kills, while Brooke Barron had 6 kills, 2 aces, and 2 blocks. With the win, the Indians remained 1 game behind Valencia for first place in the Foothill League. The Vikings won their game in straight sets to improve to 14-1, 14-0 in the Foothill League. Saugus took sole possession of the third with a win over West Ranch in straight sets. Sam Call and Brooke Dawson, who both played at Valencia High School, have moved on to D1 college volleyball with CSUN. Call, Dawson, and the Lady Matadors would take on Hawaii at home last Friday.
Last Friday at the Matadome, the CSUN Matadors played the 21st ranked team, Hawaii. Santa Clarita's very own Brooke Dawson, number 6, who played volleyball at Valencia High School, and Sam Cowell, number 15, who played volleyball at Canyon High School, are both important contributors to the CSUN's ranking of 20th in the nation. There you can see an amazing kill in the middle by Sam Cowell. Look at that hit. On the right side, a kill by Casey Hinger. Oh, then another amazing kill on the left side this time by Sienna Stenson. Number 18, Danetta Boykin had an amazing game. She played at Pierce Community College, and she is new to CSUN this year. Look at that kill right there. Teams battled it out, but it looks like CSUN wanted it a little bit more. They ended up winning all 3 games. The first score was 25-17. The second was 25-18. The third one was a little closer, 25-21. Talked to Brooke and Sam after to see what exactly CSUN did that Hawaii didn't.
I think we served and passed a lot better than they did, and I think the second set they had a better hitting percentage than us, and we did a lot better serving and passing, which is why we won and came out on top.
Yeah, and we definitely had home court advantage for sure, and I think it kind of got in their heads a little bit, but definitely serve and pass.
For Cougar News, I'm Lindsay Maxitopoulos.
Those girls played an impressive game of volleyball.
They're really playing their hearts out there.
Thanks, Darian. Speaking of football, 2,762 miles separates Santa Clarita and Miami, Florida, but that doesn't stop this Santa Clarita resident from showing his passion for his favorite NFL football team. Cougar News' Adam Shooms has the story.
The word man cave or superfan, you tend to think
it's a place for me to be me, where I don't have to be anyone else.
Or eccentric.
If you look into the bathroom at the curtain, it will change.
But for this Miami Dolphin fan and Santa Clarita native, his man cave represents more than just a place to relax.
My name is Stuart Thompson, and we are in my man cave.
Let's go back 43 years ago to 1971, when it all started. To a young boy and his father on a couch, watching a football game.
I was so impressed with Larry Zonka, the team, the colors, the logo. It just kind of drew me in.
2 days later, Stuart's father came home with the Dolphins hat. And from that point on, Stuart had a vision that only he could imagine.
But I knew at that point someday I was going to collect enough stuff, and my thoughts as a child was I was going to make a Miami Dolphins house.
But Stuart decided to downsize a bit and put his passion into one room.
I don't know if I could pick out one thing. I could say I got my top 3 maybe.
So where does this superfan get all his memorabilia?
A seat from the Orange Bowl.
Or
he made this logo out of crushed, dyed eggshells.
But his most prized possession is
my autographs.
For every dramatic win and heartbreaking loss, Stuart's commitment to the Miami Dolphins will be passed down for generations.
Right now, this room is about 70% done. It will never be 100% done. I will always be adding to it.
Adam Shooms, Cougar News.
That does it for this edition of Cougar News. I'm Alyssa Lopez. Remember, you can catch the latest information on cougarnews.com.
And I'm Shyntel Aguila. You can also send us news tips and ideas at cougarnews@canyons.edu. Have a good night, everyone.